We found it, everybody. The New York City Marathon racing vlog is now ready to be packed. That is right. Okay, before I give my thoughts on the course, all right, I raced the New York City Marathon in 2019. I'm a visual learner, okay? That's why I make YouTube videos. And so I have a very distinct memory as to the rolling streets of Brooklyn, the coming off of the Queensboro Bridge. So I'm excited to break down for all the runners, the racers out there, if you're looking for some tips and tricks for this year's New York City Marathon. Sound good? But first, before I go any further, the first link, all right? There's a lot of links down in the description. I'll also post it and pin it in the comments as well. Is for the MTA, okay, where they give closures for the roads, the bridges, and then also information about how to move around the city with the subways on Sunday, okay? So if you're here to learn more about the course and the road closures, it's all linked down below in the description down below. Also, before we move on, crazy. An email just arrived from the New York Roadrunners. I'll share with you what came here in a second. Sometimes life is literally 5 minutes ago, this email arrived. And just good timing to share about when I will be starting. Also, brand new playlist created this morning. I went back, I think there's 23 vlogs on this new playlist. It's listed on the home page of this YouTube channel now, simply titled New York City Marathon, okay? After racing in 2019 and now 2021, I have a lot of vlogs, a lot of experience, a lot of thoughts about marathon training. It's linked on the homepage. I will link to the playlist in the description. Also, here we go, New York City group run, Friday, 10 a.m. in Central Park. Details down below on Strava. And lastly, the prediction contest for my finishing chip time on Sunday oh my goodness, it's so many guesses. I don't know who's good. I'm confident somebody's gonna win. But if somebody wins and guesses my time correctly down to the second, who lives in the greater New York City Marathon, the greater New York City Marathon area, on Monday, I want to take you out to lunch on me at a special place in Manhattan, okay? So you can register and sign up to guess my time, again, down below in the description. Now, the New York City Marathon has been described by news outlets all across the New York area as the biggest block party in the world, meaning the spectators come out of their houses, they literally walk down some steps, and there's the race going through the 5 boroughs of New York City. Before I forget, yes, I remember to put on my t-shirt. This t-shirt has the 5 bridges that we go over in the race, okay? So I picked this t-shirt up in 2019. I'm excited to break it down with all of you as far as the course. And did I already mention I'm a visual learner? That's why I make YouTube videos. So I have a very distinct memory as far as the course. And I want to share it with all of you. If you're actually, yes, raise your hands in the comments right now. Are you racing on Sunday? And if you're not racing on Sunday, maybe head down there and wish everybody good luck that is racing on Sunday. It's gonna be epic. Oh, finally, the 50th edition of the New York City Marathon is going down. So that's what we're doing today on the vlog, talking here in the Studio 1.5, talking about the course, talking about the, and the weather. I wanted to mention that as well. So that's the game plan, because I am packing and when you're watching this, I might even be on an airplane headed to New York, since this is publishing on Thursday. So it looks like the weather in New York, the Big Apple, on Sunday, November 7th, is going to be a high at this point of 58 degrees and a low of about 43 degrees. That's pretty much perfect but you know what? Temperature is important. It is important, no doubt, because the next day is 62 degrees on Sunday. That's starting to get a little too warm for my liking, but 58 for a high is solid, especially since the race starts, I'll get to that in a minute, at 9:10 for me. But the wind, it looks like, at this point, it's hard, we're 3 or 4 days out, northwest winds at 6 miles per hour. So we're not talking about like 20 or 30 or 40 mile per hour wind gusts. That is just No nor'easter on the horizon, at least right now. Okay, let me just pull up real quick to that email that arrived from the New York Roadrunners. Bib number 1008, very exciting. Blue start color, Wave 1, Corral A. I think the elites start at like 9:07 or 9:05, and I'm in the sub-elite at 9:10 a.m. All right, I catch a Midtown bus at 5:15 a.m. Very exciting. All right, here we go. The 5 boroughs, you guys know, starting in Staten Island, here we go. Staten Island, and then the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, mile 1 and 2. I'm in Brooklyn from mile 3 to 12. In Queens from mile 13 to 15, going over the Queensboro Bridge into Manhattan, all right, miles 16 to 18, and then the Bronx for 19 and 20, just dip into the Bronx really quick, and then back into Manhattan for miles 21 to 26.2, which is a lesson that I learned from 2019, frankly. Mentally, that was my first New York City Marathon in 2019. As soon as we went back into Manhattan, off of the Madison Bridge, we'll get to that in a minute. I thought maybe I was going to be in I don't know. I thought I was going to get to the finish line a lot quicker, but that it's a 5 miles. Once you dip back into Manhattan for the second time, it's 5 miles, which is a tip I will talk about here in a second. All right, the 5 bridges, as you know, out of the 6 major marathons, okay, we're talking about New York City, Chicago, Boston, London, Berlin, and Tokyo. All right, those are considered the 6 major marathons around the world, and New York is considered one of the toughest, if not the toughest, because you cross over the 5 bridges, okay? So here we go. New York City Marathon. I'm gonna glance down at my computer because I wrote down some notes, some very critical, distinct lessons that I learned from 2 years ago, okay? And again, it was my first time, but I'm a visual learner, and I know exactly like the feel of the pavement, but the feel of the turns, the rollers in Brooklyn. Oh, okay, so here we go. Point number 1, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Actually, that's the first bridge, and you start in Staten Island, and you immediately start climbing up, and you're gonna feel great, the energy of the crowd, and frankly, you're gonna get up that bridge pretty easily. But at the top, don't go crazy going off the back side, because you're gonna be going downhill into Brooklyn, and it could be very easy to start going too fast, too early, okay? You don't wanna go out too fast or too early, all right? So that's point number 1 that I learned from 2 years ago. Point number 2, here we go. In Brooklyn from mile 3 to 12, that's a lot, basically 9 miles, and it's not as flat as I was hoping for. I'll just put it that way, kind of rolly a little bit. So just keep that in mind. There are sections for sure that are flat, but it's also not totally flat either. So kind of mentally prepare yourself for just some gentle rolling through Brooklyn. And, the crowds are going to be amazing, though. I will say that. Shout out to everybody in Brooklyn. Speaking of crowds, the Williamsburg crowd, the Williamsburg neighborhood. Enjoy the crowds, but also stay within yourself because you're not even at the halfway mark yet. So again, it can be easy to start picking it up too early because of the energy of the crowds in Williamsburg, okay? For me, with 10 miles to go, coming off of the Queensboro Bridge, like I already talked about, going into Manhattan, that's when I actually started to pick it up just a little bit. 10 miles to go, basically mile 15 to 16, going over the bridge into Manhattan, and I used the energy of coming off the Queensboro down First Avenue, and I must say, I think I gained and picked up some good momentum and speed, and I think it's why I was able to run about 224 2 years ago. So anyway, just a little note, I enjoyed that crowd coming off of Manhattan, and using the downhill off of Queensboro, just, keeping in mind, you still have 9 at that point, 10 miles to go coming off of Queensboro. Okay, here we go. Harlem equals dig deep. All right, you're at mile 21 coming off of the Madison Avenue Bridge, the last bridge you will cross. So that's 5.2 miles to go. But mentally, tell yourself less than a 10K. A lot of times we talk about the wall, okay, which usually hits people at about mile 20, so 10K to go. But coming off the last bridge, that Madison Avenue Bridge, you're less than 10K. You're less than 6 miles. Use that mental fortitude to your advantage, knowing I got this. Less than 10K, less than 6 miles. I can finish this race. So that's a little mental cue that I will use on Sunday. All right, mile 23, the 5th Avenue Hill going up, that I already talked about, going up into Central Park. Again, try and find, if you can find somebody to run with that's alongside you in the course, who's going the same pace as you, and just say, hey, let's go. Let's work together. Let's get up this hill, because once you get to the top and you turn right into Central Park, you kind of have a little roller, and then you actually have a little downhill. And as you probably, well, you may not know this, Central Park was built, well, oh boy, when was it built? It was built a long time, 150 or was it 200 years ago? Anyway, it was built for carriage rides and horse riding. It was not built for runners. Central Park is hilly, okay? So just keep that in mind. You will have a kind of a big downhill before turning right with about a mile. At that point, it'll be about a mile to go to the finish. And so the Pain Cave. This is me. I'm not afraid to show it at mile 25.5. Oh my. 2 years ago, I was in the Pain Cave going quite slow, and I was struggling, and I wasn't quite ready for the hills of Central Park. So just a fair warning, be ready for those hills. If you're training for New York City or you're preparing for New York City in the future, just be ready for those hills at the end on 5th Avenue and then in Central Park. So those are some mental notes, some lessons that I learned from 2 years ago that I will be applying to my 2021 New York City Marathon. There you go, everybody. I could go on and on about the New York City Marathon course. It's so exciting. If you're going to be out there filming, oh yeah. If you're going to be out there cheering and filming, if you care to take some footage with your phone or with a nice camera and email it to me, I will try my best to include it into the vlog and vlogs moving forward on this new New York City Marathon playlist that's now on the homepage of the YouTube channel, info@DeMoorGlobalRunning.com. WeTransfer, Google Drive, Dropbox, all of those options will work, and email to info@DeMoorGlobalRunning.com. And I'll do my best to use as much of the footage that shows up, but make sure you film horizontally, not vertically. Horizontally, not vertically, because horizontal is how we all watch this beautiful thing called YouTube. I love you. Here we go. Question of the day and comment of the day. Brett Stevens from Denver. I think this is your second or third comment of the day. Brett is amazing, a local runner here in Colorado. He says, go get it, Seth, in New York City. DGR community supports you completely. When you feel tired during the race, take a deep breath and take in the energy that the DeMoor Global Running family is sending you to you from around the world. This will lift your feet and make them lighter and faster. This will fill your lungs and make you breathe easier. This will lift your heart and slow your heartbeat. This will ease your mind to relax you and get you to that finish line. On the wings of DeMoor Global Running family, we can go anywhere together. We've got this. Bon courage, Seth, and everyone racing. Brett, just like such good, positive words and energy and emotions in that comment of the day. Thank you, Brett. And again, go cheer for everybody who is going to be racing on Sunday down in the comments. Question of the day, what is your next race, and will you be able to preview the course? Kind of like I just gave, hopefully a little bit of value for the preview of the New York City Marathon course on Sunday. What is your next race, and will you have the opportunity to preview that course, whether it's by watching YouTube videos, studying the elevation chart course. And by the way, I will link as well to the elevation chart of the New York City Marathon down below in the description as well. That's it. That's it. Unbelievable. It's almost here, everyone. All right, we will toss it to, of course, the 2019 race vlog Right there, right there, right there. Butter to the bread. Let's go, everybody. All right. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.